Lord Poseidon spared neither the mighty Argo nor her oarsman Danaus, whose once tanned flesh is now made of the same sharp rocks about him. Having survived the wreck of the Argo, Agamedus, a brave comrade, fell to bewitchment and is now naught but a perch for birds. Here stands strong Coronus, warder of Ocalia and friend to all who put oar to Poseidon's dark waters. This statue appears to be under construction. Considering the dire circumstances, it may remain so indefinitely. A small opening, no wider than 2 shields, can be seen in the cliff's face. This man appears to have been shielding his eyes from the very thing that took life and left only stone. The simple robe of this man betrays him as an attendant of some god. Which one, however, is unclear. The blight of which Athena spoke has left a trail of sorrow in its wake. Never again shall this beast of burden pull cart or dray beneath a scorching sun. Of men who would share the toils of his brethren, none compare to fair Asterion. This wayward pig is concerned only for that which will feed its large belly. This chicken wanders aimlessly upon the sod, as chickens are wont to do. Nothing of interest can be found on this ordinary chicken. Any speculation on how this chicken might be tied to the events of late is completely unwarranted. Clearly caught unawares, this simply dressed man hinders entrance into or egress from this building. This creature had nary a chance to escape its petrified fate. In contrast to the fine statuary on this aisle, this table is poorly constructed. Although no fire burns within, this clay stove is still warm to the touch. 'Tis naught but a large wooden barrel. The form of a child, still in mid-stride, is no more than a lifeless statue within tall grass. The great Phidias of Athens himself could not craft a sculpture so lifelike, yet lifeless. The look of horror on this mother's face is a thing to haunt dreams and drive men mad. The bane of this isle has claimed both the young and the elderly without prejudice. Uncovered food such as this is sure to draw flies. This parchment appears to be a recipe of sorts and provides illustrations of the required ingredients as well. This parchment is inscribed with 3 illustrations of native flora. Next to each is a name and a brief description. Datura, purple trumpet flower. Black nightshade, white flowers with berries. Mandragora, green leaves with red flowers. Near the bottom is a drawing of fire, and within it, a single word: sleep. 'Tis a pouch made of sheepskin, complete with leather drawstring. Argonus takes the newly created mixture and drops it into the small pouch. Neither man nor woman is granted mercy from the scourge that stalks this isle. Sadly, pleading for one's life will not deter that which relishes in bringing both horror and death. A few uninteresting items rest upon this table. At first glance, that piece does not seem to be a good fit. This silver drachma is oddly struck, bearing the image of a grinning skull. This blade, known as a zaphos, has been neglected. Its edges are dull, and the metal is rusted with age. Tireless winds blow past the form of fair Alcon, who was well skilled at inferring from sun and star the stormy winds. Having endured sore afflictions and beached ships, 'tis sad to see Arius, son of Bias and brother of Teleus, in such a state. Phineus called these beasts the dogs of Zeus. 'Tis an apt description for something that would eat what even most creatures would trample underfoot. This shallow pond reflects tall stones, set about it as if to keep the water captive within this golden veil. "'Tis Argonus, whose lyre charmed stubborn rocks upon the mountains and the course of rivers." Zetes, the son of Boreas, shall stand battle-ready for all eternity. Much like her life, this elderly priestess's torch has not only been snuffed, but petrified. The eyes of this man appear as if pleading, begging to be released from a stone prison. Whatever prayers of supplication this woman lifted to the gods went unheeded and apparently unanswered. While impressive statues dedicated to the goddess Hera are not uncommon, the dearth of pious attendants is troubling. Provoked by the wandering sailor, the great statue of Hera moves, her unblinking eyes falling upon Argonus.
Who are you, Argonus? Historian? Storyteller? Map-maker? Of these things I have no need. 'Tis a warrior's heart I seek.
With that, the goddess turns away and becomes stone once more. Sword raised, Argonus calls upon Hera, praying the great goddess will reveal herself. The mother of Ares obliges the sailor when the statue slowly comes to life and stone lips part.
Argonus,
She says,
stand where you are and move no closer, for you are on holy ground. I have watched you from afar. I have seen your mettle. I have felt your anguish. Did you know that the gods feel anguish as well? Perhaps not for fallen comrades, but certainly for that which has been taken from us. Zeus's pets have taken to roost, defiling my golden orchard, which now lies fallow. I need but one warrior who would reclaim it, reclaim my honor. Would the name of Argonus be immortalized thus?
Argonus says nothing and raises his sword once again. Hera nods even as the sailor feels her eyes move from his face to his chest, and then finally resting upon his weapon.
But this sword is ill-suited for such a task. Its blade is dulled, but I will grind it fine. Its tip broken, but I will make it like new.
Hera transforms the weapon, reshaping the steel with nothing more than a wave of her hand. As Argonus marvels at the restored sword, Hera reverts to stone, but not before a final warning.
Prove yourself, sailor of the Argo, and you shall be rewarded. Fail in this, and not even Athena can save you.
This stone is bereft of markings, offering no explanation for the small depression set into its surface. The yellow light it emits is curious.
Whatever has passed, and whatever lies before me, I shall never forget the commission laid upon my shoulders by the Queen of the Gods herself. The marvel of Hera's appearance alone would have rendered this simple man dumbstruck, if not for the tales told to me by trusted Argonauts. For I have sailed with men who consorted with gods long before my sandaled foot touched bewitched sand. They have set tall sails on dark rising swells that no other ship has traversed. They have gazed over wooden bulwarks at impossible sights and have seen the dust of vast armies hide the sun. Under starry skies I stood, beneath hero Jason's shadow, listening to their stories, fashioning maps of isles that guarded primordial treasures, archiving grand quests steeped in truth and bound for legend. Tales to rival those told in the halls of my fathers. But those things are beyond me now. Mighty Argo rests forever upon a strange shore, her keel shattered, her memories carried aloft by dark waves, and lost to boundless waters. Enough, for today is ripe with troubles of its own. If the gods wish to make themselves known to a simple sailor, to call upon me with great labors, I shall be at the ready and face them as my brothers did, as an Argonaut.
Argonus drives the enchanted sword into the Hydra's mouth. But even using considerable force, the sailor of the Argo can extract no more than 3 of the beast's teeth. The mosaic, now complete, depicts an epic battle reminiscent of the tales of Jason and the Spartoi. The Harpies do not appear to view a single sword-wielding historian as a potential threat. As if awaiting the first act of a great play, a circle of tall, silent stones surround Argonus as he reaches for the teeth of the Hydra. With a sweep of his arm, he tosses them into the shallow water, like a farmer sowing his field after winter's winds have faded. The ground trembles beneath the sailor's feet, followed by an uneasy silence. Then, one by one, skeletal foot soldiers rise, their stalwart shields bearing the mark of the very thing that birthed them. The undead warriors look to the trees and move as one toward the harpies that desecrate their branches. They engage the beasts with fury, raising sword and spear, staining the green sod below with splatters. After a short skirmish, the dogs of Zeus relent and are driven from the dense boughs and into grey skies. Victorious, the skeletons remain, ensuring the safety of the goddess's orchard. The skeletal soldier stands at attention, perhaps guarding the grove, perhaps awaiting further orders. Whether the golden skin of these apples was transmuted or grew as such is just one of the many mysteries upon this isle. It takes naught but a few heartbeats for the statue to stir, and the mother of all gods to awaken.
Well done, sailor of the Argo.
Hera says.
You have driven the harpies from the boughs of my orchard. Their broad wings have taken them into the skies, and their lamentations are heard no more. And what is your reward for such courage? Gold that rests within your palm? Your name remembered in my great halls? Yes, it shall be these things.
The goddess says as she returns to stone.
But step outside this place and see if it can be so much more.
Let it be known that while I did not sail with the Phoenician prince Cadmus, I knew one other who sowed the teeth of a dragon. Jason, hero of the Argo and burglar of the Golden Fleece. At a shallow fount, tall stones set about, and a great tree at its head, I stood, the teeth of the mighty Hydra within my palm. With the goddess's words in my ears, I raised my hand and cast my prize into the shallow waters. I thought myself prepared. Yet amazement and fear welled within my breast, gripping my heart. Skeletal foot soldiers, their polished shields bearing the Hydra's mark, rose from the earth and looked to the trees, whose great boughs bore the weight of the harpies, foul beasts who desecrate and destroy. But they were no match for the children of the Hydra. With sword and spear, the dogs of Zeus were driven from the fair glade and into gray skies high above. And so, by my hand, the grove of the goddess Hera was made pure once again.
Gazing skyward, Argonus witnesses Hera's promise glide down to the earth upon wings of purest white. No doubt a gift from the goddess Hera herself, a noble steed with white wings and ivory coat stands waiting. Golden apple in hand, Argonus approaches the stallion with trepidation. But the sailor's worries prove unfounded when the horse gently shakes his snow-white mane and accepts the gift. Sensing a kinship, Argonus straddles the great winged horse, and for a few moments at least, leaves the burdens of the world far below him.